Fuck it. We do it live. We do it late, but we do it live. Late is kind of my fault this time. What do you got for us, Ryan? Here, this is a Ryan show. It could go off the rails. It could be great. For those who don't follow, my studio is underneath the ground, which makes it cold in the Northeast United States. I'm freezing. Ryan, what we've been moving. So normally I have topics and I have an intro and I'm ready for all of you today. Ryan, this is not the case. What do you have?
Well, as in good fashion, David, I never have anything. I shoot from the hip always. As always, David. The most greatest content creation is always spontaneous. I am not cold because we have heat in the upstairs here. So
you know what I have?
What, David?
I have an egg, Ryan. An egg.
An egg? What kind of egg?
The chicken egg. My chicken's laid an egg today for the first time.
Oh, gosh. That's exciting.
It is exciting. I ate it already.
Farmer Dave. What'd you do with it?
True. That's not true. I washed it. I put it in the
fridge. Dave, is the NFL rigged or not?
You just jumping right into that. No.
But he clearly got the fourth down, David.
Yeah, but clearly it's not rigged.
How come there's no chip in the ball, David? I've seen that one this week too. There's no chip in the ball. They'll let him know that it broke the fucking imagination line.
It'd be really expensive. Chips, you gotta have
really expensive. Yeah, $1 trillion. They could just build $1 billion stadium all over America, David. All over South America. They're in fucking 17 countries. Can't put a chip in a ball. Every other sport has it, David.
So, well, not every sport. I mean, hockey doesn't have it.
Dave.
It's a rubber puck. What if it crosses the goal line?
Dave, there's a light in the fucking net that goes off,
well,
David. The puck doesn't need
how hockey works. The light is literally... The NHL is so poor, they employ men at the arenas to trigger the light when the puck goes in.
Enough of this. Fucking Dave, I don't give a shit. It's a cop-out. Betting has killed the game. It's killed the game.
To what degree would you say it's rigged? Let me put this out here. If you were, because we have to put levels.
What's a better story? Buffalo going to the Super Bowl or Chiefs go for a three-peat, which has never happened in the history of sports. History of sports, David.
So, okay, we have to put levels on things, and I have many questions because I can't just get on board with the NFL's rigged thing. And I know there's everyone in
Dave, he got the fucking fourth down.
I get it.
He got the fourth down.
I get it.
Clear, right, clear possession of the fourth down.
Good. Don't make it a 4th and 1. Here, to what degree?
No, enough. No, this
Hold
is like saying that Hitler lost because he didn't have a big enough fucking rocket. No, I'm not doing that.
No, but I need these questions answered. We can't just jump into this. You're not going to
get them, David. Do you know that they've all been investigated before in the 1900s, and they said, "Yep, nothing to see here." You're telling me, David, at the pit of all the corruption that's ever been corrupt in the history of corruption?
I'm not saying it's impossible. Here's what I'm saying. Old school styrofoam drink. Is it rigged to the level of? And by the way, this is accepted now. Nolan just got into this, so I've been watching, but I've known this for years, right? The WWE is scripted to this level. 2 wrestlers enter the ring. Before they go out to the ring, they literally know who is going to win the match. Whatever happens, to some degree, is up to them as far as the entertainment value goes. But they know the outcome. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Are we saying the NFL is that level of rigged? Or are we saying it's corrupt where maybe the heads of the officiating are slightly corrupt, or maybe the officials are somewhat corrupt? Are we saying the NFL is rigged to the fullest extent before the game happens? Mr. Allen, Mr. Mahomes, here's who's going to win and how? Or are we saying it's corrupt? The officials maybe are told to not make the right calls. Like, to what degree are you saying this is happening?
There's got to be a narrative and a story arc behind everything.
Here's part of my issues with the NFL's rigged situation.
Rigging, they can steal momentum with fake calls. Okay, they can slow down momentum on the offense and stuff. For example,
sure.
As far as the calls are going, football's been around for a long time. We still don't know what a catch is. Now I know these are rules and interpretations, but the chip technology, I'm not impartial to keeping it out of the fucking football, considering that thing gets kicked and thrown around and then we're supposed to believe that it's verified. I'm not necessarily for the chipping of balls when you smack them you throw them 100 miles an hour and hit them with a baseball bat. I don't know what chip is going to be able to measurably be reliable 1,000,001 times after getting smoked by a foot. So I don't know if the chip is the way. To me, David, as far as the
what uses the chip? I've seen tennis. Is it anything else?
Tennis uses one. They got chips in fucking race cars. Like, what are we talking about? That's all laser guided. If a Nitro Funny car can cross a line that's 0.2 of a second different from another Nitro Funny car, I think we can figure out a better system. Like you would think, honestly, you might not even have to chip the ball. You would think that those things, the sticks, opposite of each other, would have like an invisible force field that would know if the ball crossed it.
Well, okay, but for that to happen, there would have to be something in the ball, I would think. I mean, you could do software.
No. When they survey land, there's no fucking, the land doesn't have a sensor in it. They walk around with a stick on the other side of it, and they measure the difference of it.
Yeah, but here's what gets tricky. So if you were to put, like, say, a camera in the orange sticks, right?
Mm-hmm. It's not a camera; it's a sensor.
Okay, but what's it sensing?
The sensor's on the other side of the stick. It's just like your garage door opener. At the bottom of your garage door, there's a laser.
But what I'm saying is, like,
can't do that with football.
The ball would have to have something in it, right? Because it would have to sense the ball.
I don't know. I don't. We have, dude. They got a Jewish space laser. They can figure out a football crossing a plane.
I'm sure. I agree completely. There is some form of.
The other thing that bothered me about that fourth down play, David, is with all the camera angles, they only showed 1 or 2 camera angles on the fourth down play in particular.
Well, they did once glance at the
above.
Yes, the above shows everything, because I've seen this to this day. I'll be scrolling through Facebook still, and I'll be like, see, he was short, and it's like a screenshot where you can't see anything, and it's like, show that top angle. You can
at the same time
see the ball, and in fact, I'm pretty confident they got it on the third down play, and that it didn't even need to go to the fourth down play that they got.
With the Kincaid catch you're talking, he kind of fell half short. Yeah,
sure.
Or it should have been like fourth and inches, not 3rd and 1 yard.
Sure. Here's also
and the other thing I thought about all those fourth down plays, David, is like it's basically like the Philly truffle shuffle that they're gonna play next week. Are we now gonna see the Chiefs break the narrative that the truffle shuffle is fucking impenetrable and that the Chiefs crack the code and Andy Reid's the greatest to ever be the greatest? Like,
it's penetrable when you jump the snap.
I've seen those as well. Once again, another thing, you're telling me, why are we relying on people? We can't tell the difference in 720 and 1080p, but we're going to tell somebody that they were 1/10 of a second off of a ball snap when we could have a laser beam from fucking sensor to sensor on the line of scrimmage on the fucking stick. They could make the field have the sensor in it. Why is it got to be the ball?
I don't know. I don't know how you would do it in a realistic, achievable way. I'm sure it's completely possible.
Elon Musk can fucking re-land a rocket on a launch pad. We could figure out how to not have humans officiating billion-dollar industries based on an imaginary fucking line.
I'm sure it's completely doable.
I also don't agree with machines. This is the weird thing about that, David. If it's all machine driven, then it's even more hackable and even more fakeable.
Sure.
So
then you just put the code in.
It's Back to the Future. You know what I mean? Well, and then we have unlimited sports betting, and people get rich off fucking algorithms.
Well, it literally is worse though, because literally now it's just one guy has to be involved, and one guy adds the code, and that's it, and that's the game.
It's way easier to lie to everybody.
That's way easier. My test always for how skeptical I'm going to be of a conspiracy theory. I say this as somebody who fully dives into conspiracy theories. Is how many people are necessary to be involved. Not that it makes it impossible, but I get more skeptical when that number grows.
With NDAs, though, and billions of dollars, does it really? I mean, you could have 1,000 people in there. They're just all trying to get paid.
Yeah, but you just again, if it's NDAs or what, I don't even care, to be honest. Like, if it's thousands of people need to be involved, I become really skeptical that it's because out of thousands of people, not one has come clean ever. If it's 10 people, then okay, I could see 10 people being in on this. The head of the NFL officiating crew, and maybe I don't know Roger Goodell and whoever. But the idea that everyone would be in it again, we're talking about like totally rigged. I can't see 32 NFL owners being on board with this. I can't see thousands of players. I mean, every team's got a 52 man roster plus, practice squad and all that. I mean, we're talking hundreds to thousands of players being if we're saying completely rigged. And if it is completely rigged, why wouldn't you have your biggest markets, right? Like say Dallas is a huge market. Why is Dallas not just winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl? Why, if it's rigged, like why would your big markets not be more successful? I don't know. Like Buffalo, relatively speaking, is kind of a small market team. They have a big following, but they're still a small market team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just doesn't. There's a lot of things that don't make sense. That's why I can't get on board with the NFL is rigged. I could say there's. I could see corruption a little bit at the top for sure, as you would with any big corporation or government agency.
Right, it is a business.
So I could see like the head. Like this is what I'm saying though. Like I could see if somebody were to phrase it as the NFL isn't rigged, but if it came out like the head of the NFL officiating crew was caught up in some scandal or something, I would be completely unsurprised.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've kind of been impartial to sports being fixed. I mean, the idea of sports in general, David, it's the modern Coliseum. We've said 100 times. We've said it for years now at this point. It's design distraction from shit that matters because most people are unlike us, David, that double dip. Obviously, we talk about this all the time in the program. And culture and stuff. But yeah, most people that follow sports are just mindless zombies. That's why I think it would be easy to just rig it. And to be honest, David, to your point about wrestling, it probably falls more on sports entertainment than sports creation. Like I don't think they're actively creating legacies per se. But how many times do we see the Patriots have some shady shit during the season? So I don't really know. The Chiefs were talking. I always remember last year was the Chiefs had the most offensive line penalties in the entire NFL during the regular season, but during the postseason, they didn't get a single call, as if it's just the switch is flicked, and I'm supposed to believe that their muscle memory is just magically off and they're being super. I mean, I also think sometimes the officiating just make mistakes. I understand that. And then there's also the rule, hockey lets them play by game 7, right? The longer the games go on, the more they let them get away with. They kind of let them as long as, and there's some of that too, as there should be. That's why it's called fucking sports. And if you're trying to be the best, like this is simulated warfare. Like it's kind of what I'm paying to see. It's kind of why I watch the product. It's kind of why I waste the time following the distraction. So I don't know. It is worthy mentioning because it is so big this week. Primarily because, the Bills are our home team here, David, and it's a little burn to keep seeing the same fucking thing happen in the city. But God forbid Buffalo win a Super Bowl, hell would freeze over. But,
yeah, it seems like a cop-out answer, but when I watch that game, yeah, it's easy. It's easy. It's easy to look at officials and look at the bad calls and say it was absolute disaster. But then it's to me.
Well, there was some bad play calls. Like I don't know why they were not running the fucking football at the end of the game there. They're averaging 4 to 6 yards a carry with James Cook and you don't have him in the game. Dude, there was that one drive that all they did was run.
Yeah, they marched right down the field.
like 80 yards in 7 minutes, and you're not going to keep doing that. You're going to fucking throw it. You don't even need to, dude. You need a field goal. Like, you don't even need a lot of points here.
Yeah, and I mean, how many times on 4th and 1 are you going to get stopped and keep going to the same play? Like, at some point, you're like, okay, they figured it out. Try something else.
Yeah, and the Chiefs, they were using play action and unilateral design to get the defense going sideways. I didn't see that once from the Bills offense. I didn't see any play action. I didn't really see him get in the bag. And to be honest, they had the shit set up for it with James Cook. They were running 7 yards of fucking 4 to 7 yards of carry with those guys. That's the textbook of let's pound it with the play action. And then it's bombing to the tight ends underneath. The same shit they were doing with Travis Kelce. Pacheco or whatever. Is that the other guy they're wide out?
That's their running back.
Yeah, you give him a shovel pass, and then that changes it too. He's right there on the flat. There was times I seen James Cook hanging out. This has been a Josh Allen problem for fucking ever. But James Cook's hanging out there on the flat for an easy 4 yards on fucking 2nd and 10, and you're gunning the ball 30 yards. Now you're on 3rd and 10, you idiot. Just take the 5 yards. Now, I'm fine with having those discussions with the Bills. That's what they are supposed to practice all week. But I can't stand by when I literally blatantly watch a guy cross the imagination line and you say he didn't cross the imagination line. It's just something has to change. There's huge NFL boycotts going on right now. Now, this just may be my sphere of influence. I live in the area. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
across the country,
Dave
average people.
Portnoy or whatever said he was going to.
Yeah. Well, he had $1 million on the Bills winning the Super Bowl and lost. So, like, is he mad too? Is that just projection that he lost $1 million bucks? And but Brandon Beane referenced it in a press conference today. So it's like, what is going on here? You don't really see these type of people speak out against the very system. It's like biting the hand that feeds you,
Yeah, I don't know if I'm. It's tricky because there's different degrees and different contexts of that statement, right? I'm not. I don't care if fans run around and say it's rigged and the officiating's bad or whatever. That's fine. I don't know if I want my GM and coaching staff talking about how bad the officiating was.
It's bad luck.
I want them looking in. Like, here's what I could have done better. I don't know. I don't love that. And then not just us. Like, anytime a coach loses and then it's like, well, the refs were bad. It's like, dude, come on. I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. Sucks. I mean, I'm kind of. I told somebody today that it's actually kind of nice the Bills lost because then there's no anxiety for another week of everybody waiting for fucking. Dude, it was like everybody's on excited. It was good, but then it's like, now the anxiety's gone. So it's like people kind of fucking relax. And as always, I will be watching the Super Bowl because my boy Kendrick's performing. So they not like us. And as bad as it burns, and I could say the NFL may be rigged, if Patrick Mahomes is really just that good, there's nothing I can do. Just like hating Alexander the Great after he's just whooping everybody's ass. I'm not going to do that. I did that for Tom Brady for years. And then when Tom Brady beat the Atlanta Falcons in the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history or whatever the fuck it was, I'm not going to be doing that.
Yeah, I watched people do that for years too, not with Tom Brady, with LeBron. It's like people get so sick of somebody's dominance, they just start hating on him, and it's
human nature. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's great. I mean, I will say Tom Brady was more
impressive.
I don't know. He was a little more like respectable, I think. Something about Patrick Mahomes. He does have a bit of a hateable face. But Tom Brady was.
His wife is just a raging bitch.
Maybe Tom Brady. The thing with Tom Brady that really sucked for Bill, like for everybody, but especially for Bills fans, is you saw him twice a year, every year for 20 years. It was like, oh my god, go away. But
Tom Brady had more victories.
It's not Tom Brady's fault.
Stadium.
It's not Bill Belichick's fault. Go beat him. You know what I mean? And they couldn't do it.
Yeah, getting over the Casey hump is interesting. I don't know. It's cool. I mean, it's great that the Bills are still in it. They weren't even supposed to make it that far, and everybody can say all that shit. But, just interesting. You always want your home team to do well. And when I drive by that $1 billion stadium and still there's no Super Bowl in town, it's interesting. So, dude, how hot is Tulsi Gabbard?
Hawaii, it's pretty warm there. I think it's still on fire.
Did you see her all dressed in white when she was getting sworn in for the director of national intelligence? And she had this wonderful speech that talked about how they're all corrupt bastards and that nobody trusts them and that they work behind the scenes and double dip. Did you guys caught all that?
Well, she sounds like a crazy conspiracy theorist, Ryan. How would she know? It's not like she was serving in government for years.
I'll tell you, dude. I seen a post that was interesting. It said the Trump administration's moving so fast that liberals don't know what to be upset about. And I'd almost like to think there's a grain of truth in that for all of us, because there is so much shit going on that you almost can't keep track. I got a text. Was it you that sent us? It was like he fucking did it, and it was the gender reassignment surgery.
Yeah.
Like, we saved all the dicks on kids. Good job, guys. You know, but it's just he was revoking security clearances for like former national intelligence agents, and they got to step down. And there's these big resignments coming, and
he's absolutely fucking crushing it right now. President Trump,
fucking a week and a half is just.
Did you see this? He fired every federal prosecutor involved in the January 6th case. Every single one of them fired. Get the fuck out. I love that. Get fucked. Every single one of you.
I text Dave, like, this is actually like so crazy. Like, just like you don't. It was almost worth all the years of like, what the fuck are we doing? Yeah, you know, to just like this iron curtain of just, nah, this is the way the adults are in town, or however you want to word it, you know.
Seeing all the people go to the grocery store and talk about how eggs are still expensive, thanks Trump, is wild. Like, how, Ryan, I'm sure you remember, but do you remember Barack Obama ran for president the first time saying like the Bush economy was so bad, and you know, it's in a recession. Oh my God, we're never going to get out. By the end of Barack Obama's term, he was still blaming the economy. His second term, by the way, 8 years in office, he was still blaming the economy on George Bush. We are 1 week into President Trump's term, and they're like, the eggs are still expensive. You guys had 8 years to fix a recession and couldn't do it.
What about the time they said Joe Biden doesn't alter the gas prices, David?
Well, but the egg price, but that's the gas prices, right? Not the egg prices.
How the eggs get to the store, David?
By the way,
fucking do the chickens fly there and lay them in the back too, you motherfuckers?
By the way,
there's herds of chickens flying all over the place.
Everyone who sees a post like that on social media, like, oh my God, look at these eggs, they're $14.99, or some of the fucking prices I saw were
$8
crazy.
For eggs, 18
fucking
eggs,
crazy.
$8.
Okay, go to your own grocery store and see the price, because I'm sorry, I don't know what they are by all of you. But by me, I saw a post the other day. It was like $14.99 or $15.99 or something for eggs, and I'm like, what the fuck? I went to my grocery store. They were like $6-7. I'm like, where the fuck are these people finding $15 eggs to take pictures of?
Well, $7 eggs is still.
It is expensive.
$5 too much.
Sure, but it's not $15.99. So
chickens literally have to lay those or they die, and they're like, nope, $80. Like, what? This is.
What is the average price of eggs right now?
I don't know, Dave. How much are Cheerios by you? It's so funny the metrics catching up, David. I was using Cheerios, not eggs, and people are like, well, eggs are still $8.
No, you were saying milk and bread too for years.
Yeah. How much are milk and bread?
When is this from? It's not really good up-to-date information on this, right? If you can believe it.
Do you remember when the Biden administration said you're saving $7 on average on your 4th of July party the one year?
Did you see any of the RFK?
Yeah, I seen some. That was on my list. I heard Elizabeth Warren beating him up about pro-choice and stuff, and it's interesting.
Bernie Sanders.
What a joke, dude.
Jesus Christ.
I got them from healthcare workers.
Has there ever been,
Bernie, you don't get billions of dollars from healthcare workers.
Has there ever been like more of a? Does everyone remember Bernie Sanders running? I think it was in 2016 against Hillary Clinton.
Billions can't buy Bernie.
He was running around telling everybody about big pharma and like all these things. He sounded like RFK Jr. He's running around telling everybody Big Pharma was bad and they're giving you cancer and oh my God and all these fucking drugs and they're trying to rip off people and no one can afford healthcare because of Big Pharma and blah, 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 blah.
Okay, if you remember, I was like, I'm almost with Bernie, dude. He just doesn't go far enough.
Then
he just stops at
the
corporations.
Democratic primary was rigged against him. Fact. Not a conspiracy. Fact. For Hillary Clinton. Okay. Then he receives billions of dollars from, was it billions? I don't know if I should say billions. Millions? Hundreds of millions? A shitload of money. He got a big fat check, okay?
He's a millionaire.
From signed Big Pharma. Okay. And now RFK Jr. is getting going through the paces here. And Bernie Sanders is on there to I mean, what other word is it? Defending Big Pharma. Like I'm sorry, but all the people who were Bernie bros, all you I completely get it. I know where you were at. I understand. To some degree, we're there, right? All we're doing is running around talking about how corporations and the government rigs everything against us. I get it completely. Kind of. That's what Trump did, to be honest with you. I understand all of that. Bernie Sanders is probably one of the biggest sellouts in history. At least Hillary Clinton has always been a corporate puppet.
Yeah, Bernie's a little Bernie Arnold here.
Hillary never ran around against Big Pharma. At least she's consistent. You can hate her. I get it. She sucks. She was consistent the whole time.
She's a bad bitch.
She was always a corporate puppet. Always, never denied it. Bernie Sanders
bad motherfucker. She was
for half a year. That's all. 6 months. He was like, "Oh, Big Pharma, they're killing you. They're giving you all cancer, and they're making your prescriptions expensive."
Mr. Kennedy, I got those contributions from healthcare workers.
The thing about Bernie Sanders, right, with us, like he'd be running around talking about all these problems, and we're like, yeah, that's right, Bernie, that's yes, and then he'd say, what we need is more government, and you're like, what? No, that's not the answer. You were right there, you had it. He was doing a math equation. He was showing all his work. All his work was correct. All he had to do was plug the right number in at the end, and somehow he fucked it up. You were right there, dude. You had it all. You were completely correct right up until your answer.
Yeah, he was talking about like offshore banks controlling things and how they leverage our food against us. And global climate change is like a conspiracy by big climate companies. Like, yeah, it is, but it's to lie to you to control it. Like, he just so close.
He almost had it. He almost had it.
Like 60% there, dude. You just like still think that people care about you up there.
And that's not even a political thing. Like RFK Jr., we've said, I know for a fact I've said it many times, but like, I don't completely agree with RFK Jr. on a lot of stuff, but I'll tell you what, he's fucking right on when it comes to things about vaccinations and big pharmaceutical. I mean, he's dead on all the time, and his solution is correct. It isn't more government. That's not going to fix the problem. That's where the problem is. Corporations and big government got together, they laid in bed together, and they said, let's fuck everybody. That's exactly what's happening. RFK Jr. 100% has the correct take on everything and the correct solution. So, but Bernie was running around and what did he say? He was mad because he asked RFK if healthcare is a human right, and RFK couldn't answer the question, which I can answer it very easily and very quickly.
No.
No, it's not a human right because you don't have a right to goods and services.
He started to explain that too, and they just, chopped him down. He's like, do I think that you have the right to healthcare as if it is the right to free speech or the right to defend yourself or private property? No, I do not.
If you want to break down what that, because listen, like I said, you don't have the right to goods and services because then you're running a slippery slope, and I mean,
then our cell phone's a human right, David?
Well, you start getting into theft and slavery. I mean, if you say you have a right to somebody else's work, that's literally slavery.
Electricity is a human right. I guess I work for free.
I mean, how else would you make that work? Like if you say you should be able to get free healthcare services because it's a human right, who's paying the people providing the services? Either no one and it's slavery, or someone And it's socialism by definition. Socialism,
Taxes,
by the way.
David. Just taxes pay for it. Not socialism. Taxes pay for it.
Well, taxes paying for it. If taxes if taxes are used to overtake a sector of a private market, that's the definition of socialism. That's not people on the right wing running around yelling socialism. That's literally what it is. And if you say you have rights to other goods, that's theft. Someone has to pay for it. Think of it this way.
Some would argue taxation is theft, David.
some may say. Think of it this way. You have the right to bear arms, which means what, Ryan? What does that mean?
What part of shall not be infringed, don't you understand? It means, David, that I have the right to defend myself, my property, my family, and my country.
Sure. That is a completely different thing than you have
the right to nice teeth.
That's very different than you have the right to
eyeglasses.
Pick any firearm, right? It's not you have the right to AR-15, right?
And
some
would argue, David, that the founding fathers didn't know that there would be such equipment. So clearly, the Second Amendment cannot cover such devices of war, David.
You have a right to the action, not the object, if that makes sense.
You have you should have the right to the access of healthcare. It shouldn't be guaranteed. Right?
Correct. Correct. I do agree that you shouldn't be denied healthcare service to some degree.
I think the thing with healthcare, it is honestly, David,
but
it is like the one. Yeah, it's the one thing in our society that is actually like, by every stretch of the imagination, it should be a right, but it can't be. You know what I mean?
Like it's similar to a right to water, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's kind of like it's a right based on like good moral principle that we should help thy neighbor and love each other like we're brothers and sisters, which we all in theory have to. But it's like, yeah, to love that guy like your brother and sister, it's going to be an extra $10,000 a year on your taxes. You're like, well, why the fuck should I have to do that if I don't need that? Like, we have to figure this out. Like, I've heard, David, this is half socialism idea, but that the government covers all the catastrophic care, and then that will free up the private sector of the health insurance industry to keep our rates low. And that's for people that have diabetes and cancers and heart attacks and big accidents that keep you crippled. All that's covered by the government, basically, the catastrophic. And then us, we deal with the other stuff, your checkups, your cavities, your eyeglasses, and that can keep costs low. But people don't want to have the conversation, and it's far beyond our scope, obviously. But yeah, David, the RFK thing was interesting. The other thing, kind of piggybacking what you're saying about rights. Did you catch the Tucker Carlson, Piers Morgan talk?
No.
Oh, dude, it's glorious. I think I sent it to you in Instagram. But Piers Morgan was saying that after World War II, Europe was free. And Tucker looked at him. He's like, how are you free when nowadays you can't post anything on the internet without the government coming to put you in jail? You can't own a firearm to defend your life, liberty, and property.
Free from what?
Yeah. Piers Morgan said that they maintain their freedom. And he's like, what do you mean? And Piers Morgan's like, well, I'm not speaking German. He's like, but you can't own a firearm. Like, you're a slave.
Piers, there's times you can't speak your language either.
Yeah, on the internet right now.
That matters. That fucking matters. It's not just good enough that I don't have to speak Japanese. It's good enough that I'm allowed to speak my language anywhere I want, whenever the fuck I want.
Yeah, or say fuck on the internet. Not get censored.
Do we understand the difference there?
No,
I don't. Morgan is...
David, I don't think they understand what freedom, the essence of freedom actually means. It means you don't get to tell people what to do.
This is the kind of shit that pisses me off, because like Ben Shapiro, Piers Morgan is not an idiot. He's not dumb.
Just Veep, David.
What? But why? Like, why does some of these people just miss the mark so obviously? Like, Piers Morgan is an asshole, right? He's been an asshole throughout his life.
Kind of dig that about him, to be honest.
But he's kind of like come a long ways, right? A little Tim Pool-esque. Started on the left and he's worked his way to the center, and that's fine. Not everybody has to be like us, Ryan. I get it. If everyone was like us, Ryan, we wouldn't be special. But here's
everybody else would be gay, David.
But here's the thing. I just don't understand how somebody with that level of intelligence, he knows the differences. He knows what our founding documents look like versus theirs. He knows what actual rights are. Rights that are outlined explicitly versus what they have. Nobody else on earth has freedom of speech. I don't think people understand that. And they can run around
Canada, David.
No, they don't. They don't. Literally don't. If you Google it, it'll tell you they technically have it, but they don't. They don't have it. Show me the document that says they have it. It doesn't exist.
Ceremonial.
And I get it. A document's only a document. And
is it, David? What if I can defend that document with a boom boom stick?
Well, that's excellent, Ryan. That sounds like my kind of document.
Sounds like more than a document, David.
Speaking of fucking Canada, Ryan, Justin Trudeau has fully engaged in a trade war with President Trump, which is funny because I thought Justin Trudeau stepped down. Didn't he step down? Is he still the guy? Is he like filling out the rest of his term? How does that work?
Stepping down till the last day. Yeah, I'm gonna slowly step down until the last day as president.
I thought he resigned.
Yo, trade wars. What do we get from Canada that I need to worry about?
Hockey, maple syrup, Labatt's.
Look, bring on all the trade wars. I don't really care. This idea that you're gonna threaten me with economic fucking. Do you realize how expensive shit is now? It doesn't matter. People don't care.
Well, it doesn't matter, Ryan. It doesn't. Completely, I agree. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because I'm going to get maple syrup from Vermont and Canada can fuck right the fuck off. I don't care. I don't need anything from Canada.
Dave, I seen a post that said people are like, all these countries are threatening us to pay more money. Everybody's like, dude, do you realize that 60% of Americans knew this was going to happen and we were completely fine with spending more money?
Here's the thing that Trump is right about Ontario, because just like anything, there's nuance to it, right? People are right in saying, to some degree, with our current setup, and that's not to say we can't change this. If you impose a tariff, somebody's going to pass that tariff on. Like it's going to get, the cost is going to get passed on. It's just going to happen. But the cost rise is going to be very minimal. So if you offset income tax or abolish it completely, which is Trump has talked about several times now, to the point where I think he's actually serious about this. People have no fucking idea. I think I've said this before on the show. You might look at your check and whatever, the net pay growth, people make jokes and stuff. That's fine. People don't truly fucking understand how much money they have stolen, Ryan, to your point, from the federal government through income tax every fucking year. It's crazy the amount of money you are having stolen from you. The coffee is going to be 7 cents more, but good news, you make 30% more right now. You just got a pay raise. Great news. That $5 coffee you buy every morning, that's $5.07 now because of a Trump tariff. Good news, you just went from $70,000 to $100,000 a year. How the fuck do you feel?
David, we've said this before. I know I've said on the program, but it's like minimum wage could be fucking $80 an hour if all of our money stayed local. Like if all of our money stayed in America, we could all just make fucking $100 an hour because our money wouldn't be going anywhere. Just be staying local. You buy. That's what the Jews did, right? That's what the blacks did during segregation. It made millionaires back then.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Canada trying to play tough is cute, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, play tough until you get invaded and then need our military.
Canada is the little brother that doesn't know. You handed them a controller that's not plugged in. Like they think they're like playing along and a big important role in the world. Canada doesn't matter at all.
Yo, how about deportations though on like fucking day 3? Love it, dude.
I really don't like Canada. I just don't like they're all so fucking pompous. It's ridiculous. You guys don't matter. If you were bordered with any other country, you'd be nobodies. You guys have Mexico. Other people's fucking monarchs on your own money. Are you fucking kidding me? Could you imagine the United States putting like fucking the King of Jordan or some shit on our fucking money? It'd be ridiculous. It'd be absurd. We use our own presidents because we're not fucking losers. Go put Trudeau on your money. Fuck off. I really do hate Canada. We don't pay for our healthcare. Yeah, because you don't have to pay for fucking anything because we are your neighbors. You're fucking welcome.
They don't even have
It's like all the
healthcare.
it's like all the fucking losers in NATO. We have free healthcare. Yeah, because we're fucking your military. You're welcome. Fuck off.
Yeah, the $100 billion to keep you
This
safe every day.
this is the thing that I do like about Trump. There's so many things I don't like about Trump, but this is the thing I like about Trump. He's running around telling the world we're better than you. We know we're better than you. We're the reason you're allowed to be the way you are. So fuck you. We're out of, and I would love to see this. Fuck you. We're out of NATO. We're out of the United Nations. Good fucking luck, everybody. Good luck. I'd love
Have
to
fun
see it.
with World War III.
Good luck. Yeah, go put Canada's fucking military against fucking Russia. See how that works out. Good fucking luck. Oh, you're gonna go fight China? Good luck. It ain't gonna happen.
Oh, you go to North Korea? Good luck. Yeah, dude, I am 2 weeks, 3 weeks almost into presidency of Trump here. And
Oh my god, he's just fucking hammering.
this is
fucking
amazing.
outstanding.
And you know what? Nobody's upset. Everybody's happy. You know, David, I will say we'll shift here. You got anything else to cover?
No.
David, there is an energy paradigm shift happening in the universe, David.
Energy paradigm.
And no, I did not bump into some gypsy bitch with nose
It
rings
sounds like
and
it sounds like you
logic.
bumped into a gypsy.
My ears have been ringing a lot, David. It's clearly spiritual alignment and the planets.
Are you a Gemini?
No, I'm a Libra, David. All about balance.
So you do know what you are. This is starting to add up. Energy paradigm shift.
David, alcohol is a spirit.
Yep.
You know?
Okay. Yes.
Alcohol, they awaken spirits in you. That's why they're called spirits, David. You know, drugs alter your state of mind and your consciousness. You become something you're not. Carl Jung. Do ideas have people, or do people have ideas? You know, I've been noticing. Excuse me. It's not that I'm popular, David, but you know, I get around, and I have plenty of conversations with people. But I've been just noticing everybody's kind of low.
Everybody's low? What do you mean?
Just low thinking, low vibration. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Punch it up.
Punch it up.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
There's about a 0% chance I could spell this.
Maslow's MALSV. I don't know, something. It should show
Hierarchy
like
of needs.
I believe so. That's what it's called. It should be like a vibration chart that shows like a scale.
Vibration chart. All right, here we go. Let me pull this up. Okay, what the fuck is this? We're gonna do an AI overview, Ryan, because as we know, AI is the future. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a psychological theory that outlines human needs in a pyramid structure, with that most basic need, like food and shelter, physiological needs, at the bottom, and more complex needs like self-esteem and self-actualization at the top. The levels are physiological, safety, love/belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Interesting. Physiological needs are basic requirements for survival, like food, water, sleep, and shelter. Safety needs, feeling secure and protected from harm, including physical and financial security. Love and belonging needs, a sense of connection with others through relationships, friendships, and family. Esteem needs, feeling respected and valued by others, as well as having self-confidence and achievement. Self-actualization needs, reaching one's full potential and fulfilling personal goals. Interesting. Okay.
There's another frequency thing in this. The highest frequency that you when you actually like are sad or depressed, this goes back to nervousness and like your biological nervous system, your consciousness and your brainstem and everything. But when you're in a low thinking state of like depressiveness or sadness or anger, you do emit a different, you know, your chakras are tied into the frequency thing, but you're basically operating at a lower wavelength of thinking and operation in your body at a cellular level. It's proven. And this is kind of showing you how you can kind of transcend some of these. In Eastern mysticism, they would kind of relate a lot of this to the chakras and going through your 7 chakras to anyways, the highest form of vibrational frequency there is on Earth is even higher than love, which is like the second highest, is authenticity, which is when you have fully become actualized and you have individuated, as Carl Jung would call it. But there's a long gap between that and the bottom. Anyways, the point of me even bringing this up is to let you guys know that this isn't just like voodoo shit. They can say it's a psychological theory, but they have gone on and done energy tests that they actually put people in like a fucking quantum vacuum, and then they measure the vibrational pulses that are leaving the chamber, and that's how they're able to actually like map out frequencies of human emotions. It's very interesting. I encourage everybody to look into it. And this is all basically coming around to how like your diet, your sleep, your exercise can actually create a new kind of person, because as you move through these stages here, it's kind of like if you're hungry, you will only see the world as a hungry man. If you're deprived of love, you will see the world as a man that has no love. You know, the thing that you're going to be lacking is the thing you're going to be seeking. And you know, this kind of ties into self-development. The point in saying all this is a starting point for the energy conversation I was talking about before Dave segued and said I was talking to some gypsy bitch. But it's true. You know, I'm not going to get on here and say go pray over crystals and wrap them in copper under a full moon and fucking sacrifice your firstborn. But I will tell you that, you know, people out there, you need to be wary of the substances you're putting in your bodies, what you're smoking, what you're drinking, what you're doing on the weekends, who you're hanging out with, who they're sleeping with. Like, all that shit matters. You know, and it seems like we're in this continuum right now of there's a lot of people without feelings and meaning in life, and they don't have direction, and they're just trying to patch whatever they can. And you know, it's easy to look back at the opiate crisis. It's also easy to look back at my family personally and look at some bad decisions that, you know, but it's like, oh, it was the 80s, it was the 70s, it was this or that. The thing that's different for us as 30-year-olds and 20, you know, mid 20 and 20 something year olds now is that the world is so vastly different from when our parents were children and in their 20s and 30s that they could still find meaning in the world because it didn't seem like they were so far behind. You know, like, how do you find meaning when everything that we look at is designed to make us not feel it? You know, we have all these comparison filters. We have all these filters make us look better. And I know we always talk about this on the program as a cultural issue, but it's important. Like, people aren't right. You know, there's a lot of people paying. This goes for me too. I've been going through a little bit of shit myself. But like, the thing I'm realizing is, like, I was telling somebody today that men do a real bad job. Dave, you're a stoic, which is fine. But like, something that stoicism takes from you is your ability to feel the emotions in your own body. And it's actually the opposite way a lot of the times with some of this, that if you get more in touch with your feelings, your ability to be stoic kind of fades away because you actually don't even need it. Because after a while, like, your feelings and you're more operating on instinct instead of logic, and your body knows more than your mind ever will. And
yeah, if I were to counter that just quickly, in my opinion, and I'm sure there's people who differ from this, in my opinion, true stoicism isn't numbness to emotion, right? It's feeling all of it completely in its entirety, but knowing how to navigate it. I think that seems to me like the truest.
Well, that's like more emotional intelligence. I mean, to me, you know, stoicism means a ton of different things. The thing I'm saying is, like, stoicism, the thing that it takes from men, because we want to be stoic and we do. The thing is like, it's not, we don't need to use it as much as we think we do. Like, we're probably being stoic for 100 things in our day when really we probably only need to be stoic for like 5 of them. Really. The other fucking things, you can cry if you get a flat tire, guys. Like, I'm not saying that's an example, but like, if we're talking about reserving all of your mental masculinity for something important, maybe getting pissed off maybe maybe losing, maybe tuning in, maybe just tapping in. Because the thing I'm realizing, David, this is what it's going back to. What Stoicism is, it's good. I'm not getting it wrong. It has its place. The thing that is teaching you to be disconnected from your body and what your body is telling your mind to feel. And that's where, like, when you meditate and you do the breathing, you're actually connecting your body back to your mind. And then that's how you get like this. You realize, like, oh, I'm just a little anxious. You don't need this is what I'm saying. Like, as you are aware of your emotions, like your actual physical emotions, you don't need stoicism because you realize that you're just a little anxious and maybe I need to eat.
Well, the part
You
of the
can't
problem is
stoic your way out of being hungry. You know what I
part.
mean? You need to eat a sandwich.
Sure, part of the problem is it's somewhat open for debate, right? Because it's gonna differ on different personal opinions.
I
But
don't think
like,
it's up for debate
well,
if emotions have a frequency
no,
and
no, no.
if
But
you're
listen
nulling
to
your emotions.
right. But listen to what I'm saying, because
Mhm.
there's times, and I agree with you completely. There's times when it's like okay to be emotional, completely, 100%. But like, it's gonna change from person to person what they feel is okay. So for me, like, if there's a fire, right, and the building's on fire, active shooter, right, the last thing you want is the leader in the room to be emotional, rational, flailing, screaming. That's not helpful. We need good, clear, concise direction. Everybody calm down. Here's what we're going to do. This is the plan. Go, 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 go. Right? That same person's father dies. Okay? You don't need to be stoic. Your dad just died. You can cry. It's okay. But that's going to change from, I just used two extreme examples, of course, because that's ultimately what this ends up being in a lot of
But men try
cases.
to do that in all cases.
I
And
agree.
that's what I'm saying. Like, as men,
Well, that's
we like, you should go through and process your things. The thing is the things that are being rewarded that we're all being privy to is the Tate stoic mindset of just grind and rebuild and all this. And that's fine. I've done it. I've been in it. I've cried and lifted weights. I've fucking thought about my family getting burned alive and read a book. Like, I've done it. But the thing I'm realizing, dude, is the more I get connected back to like the way I actually feel about shit, it's just I don't even want to be stoic. Like, you
well.
don't
I
even
think
want. It's not even
with,
about
with
level head because I already know when I'm in the situation, David. To your point, I know when there's an active shooter in a fire. I don't need to be trained to do that. I know my body's going to do what it has to do because I've already been in those situations. But it's not stoicism that's moving me there. If anything, it's Ares, the god of war, right? It's my determination. It's like I know it's kind of sounds like I'm just trying to reinterpret stoicism into more masculine virtues like courage or something. But I don't, what I'm saying is, like, for me personally and the people around me that are kind of going through it right now, what I'm realizing is it's the disconnection of our emotions from our body and our mind. And we're all stuck up in our head trying to fucking fix it. And you got to bring yourself back down to center.
Well, like
And that
like
goes to that
with
Maslow's hierarchy.
all things in life, though, yeah, there's going to be great balance, of course.
But the thing is, you can't, like, what we're trying to balance is something you can't see. Like, you can't see your dopamine levels. You can't see your testosterone levels. You can't see how much sleep you got.
No,
Like,
but
even on a
can you feel it though?
well, can you feel how tired you are if you're so used to drinking energy drinks for 30 years that you've never actually felt tired before because you're just supplementing the feeling of tiredness with the feeling of caffeine? So now when you don't drink caffeine, you now don't even know what tired feels like. So now you're like, man, I'm fucking twice as bad. You think the sky's falling, and it is in your world because you've never trained yourself to not have the thing that you now are feeling. And this is what I'm saying. Stoicism isn't going to change that. There's no level of I'm fine. It's no, you're fucking having caffeine withdrawal and you have to feel this withdrawal. And after the
Mhm.
withdrawal, you can then go forward with the logic that you obtained through your task.
Yeah, no, I agree, but again,
Yeah.
stoicism doesn't mean you don't have feeling.
No, 100%.
It's not numb to
No.
emotion.
No,
It's
but it's been
stoicism
extreme.
in like the easiest sense is having the same emotional feeling as everybody else, but acting in a way that it doesn't show when it's
But
when necessary.
yeah, well, the thing is like Marcus Aurelius, the guy that invented Stoicism, was known for crying. That's what like that guy. Stoicism is good for yourself. But like when you gift yourself to people, you need to have emotions because you're not fucking relatable. Like if the building is burning and everybody's in there, you can cry while you say, let's go get everybody and save their life. I've done it. You're not going to be looked at as less of a man. You're not. It's just not happening. If you're in war and your fucking general is crying, let's go get this brother, you're gonna go. You're going. The emotion is fueling the warrior in you. Marcus Aurelius, the guy that invented Stoicism, the whole book Meditations was his personal journal that wasn't gonna get he didn't write that to be published. And we have taken it as a doctrine of a way you should try to idolize your existence. That shit was for him. And to go further, I think Marcus Aurelius had what we call modern avoidant attachment styles, because if you look up his upbringing, he never was really loved. So like what he was really doing, his stoic philosophy was just a way to compartmentalize emotions to begin with. Because if you do look at stoicism, some of the shit matches up with avoidant attachment styles. You know, like, oh, it's even if the world fell apart and you think it's poor, even if you grew up broke, poor, homeless, one leg, what can I do to change the situation? That's literally what avoidant attachment people do. They just take everything on as your responsibility because the world wronged you, and you got to be protective. You got to keep your mind stout. You got to be strong.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know, but just because there's a name for it, I don't know if that's necessarily the. It might not be the best thing for everybody, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think you definitely need those people in society, because you can't just, in my opinion, you just can't run around in a world of complete emotional.
I think stoicism is like having a tuxedo in your wardrobe. You know, you don't always need to put it on, but when you need to be James Bond, you got to be able to have it. You know, like in your repertoire of emotions. My point just saying this, I'm really actually, that was very cool, David, because it's important. But like what the Maslow hierarchy of needs and these frequencies, and like when I'm talking about this energy, that's what I'm actually talking about. Is what we're like, this whole talk here, it's going around. And I hope you people that don't, I'm not saying the voodoo, crystal fucking EDM show trip bitches on mushrooms. That's not what I'm talking about. The shit's real. It's measurable in our
They're definitely
field.
not good for you.
Yeah, it's measurable in the field of modern sciences. Okay, so like it's there, but just be kinder to yourself, to people. I'm trying to learn this. I'm not the one to fucking spread love like Jesus, David. You know that. I'm a fucking sorry, bitter bastard some days. But like really, I'm just trying to. I've heard enough people. I've said enough bad shit in my life that I'm finally at the point of my life that's like, I've had enough. You know, like I don't even want negativity. Like I don't even want to be around it. I don't even want to like perpetuate it. You know, because once again, the more I get back to center and realize how I'm feeling and how I've been feeling and the feelings that I've ran from, like I really realized that a lot of it was just, you know, you're kind of it's not scared, but you forget that while you're living your life that there's a person inside of you that you don't talk to a lot. And I think what people, myself included, but I think what we should try to focus on here in this, you know, not even New Year's resolution, but something moving forward in the modern age when, like I said, people are I tend to find, David, you know, even career oriented people are hopeless because they're just going out and getting fucked up at the bar every weekend. The only people right now that seem to have any drive or ambition or direction in life that is in a good, positive way are people with children. And the people that don't have kids, they're just prolonged, they're just 30-year-old kids, they're 40-year-old kids now. And they just have more money to buy expensive toys, which is fine. Everybody's got their stink. My thing is most of those people would probably want purpose, drive, and a family to keep them grounded and oriented towards something more meaningful than just drinking at Bills games every weekend and petting your fucking dog. And so as somebody in the day and age trying to find purpose and meaning in this life, even though I have some things that some people don't, like a child, to keep me grounded, I'm still trying. One of my purposes, David, is to try to heal that inner child in me. And the way I'm realizing that is just being there for people that need help with their emotions too. And the more that I'm opening up my emotions to people, it's allowing them to have their emotions, which is helping me understand mine. Because I never took the time. And like I said, people forget while you're out there living your life that there's a person inside of you that you never talk to. So maybe take some time and talk to yourself and stay off the damn cell phone. So as always,
That's yeah. Not to cut you right at the end there, but I said this many times before. I don't know at what point. I don't know what point everybody puts the brakes on and says we're doing something wrong. Because I mean, if you just want to look at it statistically from 30,000 feet, that's fine. But there's levels of mental health illnesses that we've never seen in society.
Dude, I was driving around today. There's snow all over the place. I just seen one kid running back inside. And I was like, where's all the kids playing in the snow? Like, there's enough snow to go sledding right now. Like, are we VR sledding? Yeah. We're sledding all right. Just our fingers right on that fucking screen. Sledding all day. Not learning nothing. IQ's dropping faster. And we're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it too. And that's what I'm saying. Like this whole, I've seen videos of Denzel Washington said that everybody needs to take 5 minutes a day and not do nothing. Just sit there. Get back to center. Get back to how your body's feeling. Am I hungry? Did I sleep enough last night? How's my hair feel?
That's very light, a very light take on meditation. But that's basically what that is.
It's a light take on a very hard thing to do as well. In the modern era, when all this shit is literally wired to get you addicted to everything you see, smell, taste, and touch. It feels cool. It tastes cool. It releases fucking dopamine. The screen makes your mind think it's like it's just.
It is drugs at the most biological sense.
It's all drugs. It's the drug. Like it's like that's the Matrix. Like it's all encompassing. It's all facets of your life. It's the Hegelian dialectic. And while we're out there chasing all that shit in that fake synthetic world, don't forget that there's a person inside of you that you never even talk to. And get back to those feelings, sit in your shit, think about it. And I guarantee you, if you were to go up to a person that you know kind of well, or somebody, even your girl, Dave, and sit down and be like, how's the energy? How are you feeling? How have you been? Is there anything that I can do to help you? Like, I'm here for you. Tell me 5 minutes of your problems. 8 minutes a day, an 8-minute phone call can save somebody's life, literally scientifically proven. We all have 8 minutes. People watch 8 hours of Instagram reels, but they can't help somebody change a tire on the side of the road. So, as always, Dave Ryan, December 1773. Catch us on Rumble for the greatest podcast in all of human history. As always, David, I appreciate you most for your time, and I'll see everybody next time. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. I hope everyone enjoys their chakras.
Chakras and poor bills.
Oh, God.
Just burn the crystals, Alan. Sage the field.
Ayahuasca with Roger.
Ayahuasca. Oh, my God. It's a beautiful butterfly, man. He was always a butterfly.
Holy fuck. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, man.